for more on trade opportunities with developed economies, this time with the UK, British Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Chris Nelson joins us for our monthly chat. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Great to have you back. Welcome to Market Edge.
Good morning, and good morning to you and all your viewers. Great to be back.
All right. So, Chris, one big difference since last we spoke was the president finally signing the the Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act, which I know you guys have been supporting for a long time. How is this going to concretely change the game for agri players?
So, yes, first of all, it's great news. And I'd also just like to say thank you to everybody in the media as well, yourselves included, for constantly highlighting this as a key matter. Look, we strongly support this bill. I think it will help the agri-business. It will help legitimate importers and, of course, exports. It will protect the Philippine market and consumers because then they'll only be dealing with legitimate goods. And it will obviously make a great impact on the illicit trade. As you know, we've done particularly well with food supply from the UK on British exports. And we have sustainable food, got quality controls. And I think this is also going to be supporting both the Philippine economy and those who are generally exporting. And from my previous background, as you know, I was obviously worked a long time with Philip Morris and PMFTC. That will also take away, for example, a lot of illicit trade in the tobacco, which obviously then helps the government because it helps in terms of taxation and genuine market. So it's a great game changer, and we congratulate the government for passing the bill.
Of course, we know that the top two UK exports to the Philippines would be meat and meat preparations. We are your second largest UK pork export market. So this is great news overall.
It's very good news, and I'd also just like to make the comment that as of, I believe, yesterday, they've now just lifted the temporary ban on beef exports, which was there temporarily. So thanks again for the action by Department of Agriculture and everybody involved. And also British beef, although much smaller, of course, in terms of its volumes to the Philippines, was also on a growth trend. And we have another visit coming up from AHDB, that's the group we work with, the Agricultural Horticultural Development Board, and that will take place on the 14th November. And as we've stressed before, this is about developing long-term ties with very key Philippine companies which import, and obviously keeping supply, which is also helping with inflation, which we've seen, which is great to see, coming down to 1.9 or 1.7, I believe, sorry, very recently. 1.9, I beg your pardon. And that, again, is based on improved food supply, both obviously from a meat point of view, but of course for rice.
Actually, Chris, I was looking at some of the notes from your team. From January to July of this year, pork, the volume of pork actually went up by 24%, 12,838 tons, valued at 21.8 million pounds, while beef saw skyrocketed, 288% increase, 844 tons. It's 2.2 million pounds. Overall, though, in trade, I think we're still in the negative. Not negative per se, but the growth is not there in overall trade numbers between our two countries.
You're correct. It's currently we're at 61st in terms of total trade between the two countries for the UK. We're at 2.7 billion. We'd like to see that grow. And obviously the efforts that we're doing as the British Chamber, the British Embassy through the Business and Trade. And I'd just like to highlight coming up actually on the 31st of October, which I'll be attending in London, you'll have the Philippine Economic Briefing, where you have the economic team of the Philippines led by the Department of Finance, Secretary Recto, will be outlining opportunities to invest and do business in the Philippines. And again, I hope we're seeing that. The UK is obviously in the age of recovery. You've seen growth picking up. And the UK itself, with obviously the new administration, is very keen on investing. It's just at its own conference, so this is very good timing.
The 2.7 billion pounds you talked about would be total trade in goods and services between the two countries in the 4 quarters ended in the first quarter of this year. That's down 5%. You talk about new investment opportunities. Are there new sectors of the economy that you think UK businesses find interesting other than pork and meat and renewable energy and cybersecurity?
Well, I think in addition, the total consumer market, I mean, that's always been an age. We talk about food and drink, but obviously there's a lot of opportunities there. We've seen a lot of interest, as you rightly say, in terms of cybersecurity, but we also see in terms of the overall infrastructure. The Philippines is looking to grow at about 6%. Infrastructure is going to be key to that. And I think UK companies are overall interested in those areas. We'll see sustainable growth. I think the UK is going to be looking forward very much to the plans outlined by the economic team in London. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the Philippines is a considerable market, and as we've stressed before, Mimi, a gateway to Southeast Asia. And in that context, obviously joining RCEP has been a great benefit to that. And I think we'll see continuing opportunities for UK companies and growth going forward.
Of course, this gateway to Southeast Asia still waiting for that FTA, huh?
Well, yes, and I appreciate how you raise that, like us on the anti-agriculture economic sabotage. But in that context, there is a move, what they call the Joint Economic Cooperation Committee, which is a further step up in trade relations that's going ahead. And then that reflects the strong ties as we move forward. And let's not forget, we've also have the developing countries tariff, which has been put in place, and that's actually a benefit to countries such as the Philippines.
All right. And finally, Chris, for those who are planning this weekend, you've got some exciting goings on this weekend. Finally, the Great British Festival is happening.
Indeed. It's going to take place in BGC. So we welcome everybody to come. It starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday 19th. Also continues on the 20th, which is the UK-Philippines Friendship Day. We have a much larger event than last year. We have over 56 companies participating across a wide range of companies. Of course, major UK companies, Shell, HSBC, PruLife, Unilever, Standard Chartered. But also we have local companies, but they have presence in the UK, BDO, Philippine National Bank. And then we have our local companies as well who are members, CyberQ, coming back on cybersecurity. And we have a lot of food and drink opportunities. We have Union Jack Tavern. We have people from Tattoo Baker, Tao Foods. But also it's going to be culture. We're going to have events going on, British films being shown. And live music. It's going to be a great day for everybody to come and participate. It reinforces the great relations and the growing relations between the two countries, this being the 78th year of trade relations. So we welcome everybody. Please come. And obviously we're hoping that the weather will stay sunny and dry.
Hoping with you. Of course, the theme for this year is British literature. So those who want to participate should bring their literary hats on for these activities. Chris, exciting times ahead, not just for this weekend's event, but for the rest of the year and next year, with more trade opportunities on the horizon between our two countries. Thank you so much for joining us, and for I know that you guys are pushing for so many of these policy reforms that will improve trade, not just between our two countries, but among Philippines and its trade partners in general. Thank you again.
Most welcome, and a great day to you and to all your viewers. Thank you very much.
All right. See you soon, Chris.